the simplicity of the gospel and its specificity. That is to say, the gospel is so simple and very specific. That is to say, the gospel is not multi-purpose. The gospel of Christ doesn't cover every areas of life. Just like you hear some preachers saying something like, when you receive Jesus Christ, every other things is added, like material things and every other things. They'll be like anybody preaching the gospel of Christ must have to cover every other topics in life. Like if it is the gospel, it must have to be healing, it must have to be prosperity, it must have to be fruitfulness, it must have to be money and every other angle. That's why you will see them end up discussing business on the pulpit where they should be preaching the gospel of Christ. The mission statement of Jesus is very, very simple and direct. That a woman shall conceive, he shall give birth to a son. You shall call his name Jesus, for he shall save. He shall save his people from their sins. That the mission of Jesus is simple and specific. His mission is to save his people from their sins. His mission is not to save his people from their poverty. His mission is not to save his people from their barrenness. His mission is to save his people from their sins. All right. So every preacher must have to situate his message around this principle. Must have to situate his message around this mission statement. Anytime you're teaching the gospel and it shifts from saving men from their sin and directing them to Christ to, showing them prosperity or showing them healing or showing them any other thing, it is no more the gospel. It is the gospel because it is direct and it is specific and it has one purpose. All right. And the gospel of Christ is the power of God. According to Apostle Paul in Romans chapter 1, verse 16, he says, I'm not ashamed of the gospel of Christ, for the gospel of Christ is the power of God unto salvation. The gospel of Christ is not the power of God unto destruction. Just like you hear some preachers saying things like, I'm the man of grace. If you touch me by mistake, you die by grace, by disgrace. No, 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 sir. No, ma. If it is the grace of God, it cannot be for disgrace. If it is actually the true grace of Jesus Christ, such grace cannot disgrace. There's nothing and no part of Jesus that comes with disgrace. Any part of Jesus you praise is mercy, compassion, and grace. No part of Jesus comes with destruction. There's no part of Jesus we praise that will come with death, that will come with disgrace, that will come with anything harmful. Every part of Jesus you praise is mercy and grace. All right. So the gospel of Jesus Christ or the gospel of God has to be specific and Jesus-centric. If it shifts from Jesus to any other thing, it is no more the gospel. What is in the gospel? The gospel is about his death, burial, and resurrection. How he died for us, how he was buried for us, how he resurrected for us and ascended and seated at the right hand of the Father, far above principalities and powers. And it not just ended, he has drawn us. He has raised us together. We are now sitting together with him in the heavenlies, far above principalities and powers. That is the gospel. The gospel is that he died our death. He was buried or burial. He resurrected our resurrection. That is to say, as he was arising, we were the one arising. As he died, we died. The gospel of identification. We are seated with him anywhere he is now. That is the simple gospel of Jesus Christ. I call you blessed. Amen.